It's a new season of Fragments of Silicon, and that season is still summer.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Season 10 of Fragments of Silicon. Uh, and indeed, it's almost been 5 years since we started the show. Next year, or next month. Anyway, I'm your host, Adam, and joining me is the regular crew, which is now currently consisting of Twilight,
Hello?
Petty Fan,
Oh, hi.
and Galax. In
Hello.
In case you missed the news, Ogre is on sabbatical hiatus. We're not exactly sure what to call it. He wasn't exactly sure. He's just, not going to be a part of the broadcasts for the foreseeable future. You know, if and when he shows back up, we'll let you know as those details come in. With that in mind, also, Mac is not here as far as I know, although Skype got rid of the sound notifications that let you know people have joined the call, so he's caught me off guard a couple times there.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not surreptitiously chiming in this time, so he is legitimately not here. That's because Mac has started up a new side job. He's an Uber driver among all the other things he's doing right now. So he's even more touch and go than he was previously.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he hasn't formally said that he's not going to be part of the show again for a while or whatever. It's just he's probably asleep right now.
Yeah, he's still trying to be part of the show. He's just also not always having the energy.
Yeah. I'm like, he may still show up. I'm like I said, I don't think I've heard from him for a week. Like, either way, like I just remember the last thing I saw was, Uber was running him ragged. So, all right, so that's with all that out of the way, let's get to the proper news. Petty Fan, why don't you start us off?
The biggest thing that happened over the break is I have set up Streamlabs OBS to stream from now. So we now have follower notifications and so on and so forth. And I actually have better controls for moving and aligning the various art assets. So instead of wondering, is this lined up, right-click, transform, center.
Mind you, I saw some of that, but that's because of how the account itself is set up.
Now I have a direct button that will show me all of it, so I can better make use of that information if needed.
Right.
And
also, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask if you were going to mention Final Fantasy XIV.
That's what I was just going to, and also. Yeah. My raid group, we've started streaming our Final Fantasy XIV raid antics on here. There are already some highlights cut and whatnot if you want to look through that. And as also, we have finally defeated God Kefka, Omega 8, Savage. Oh god, that was such a pain.
That's a really long boss name.
Well, it's just God Kefka. Like, the actual, raid tier is the 8th turn of Omega, or whatever.
I'm still not sure how that works. I'm picturing, the stupid, tower thing that I know isn't actually how MMOs work.
We more get the turn thing from Binding Coil, which was a tower. Just inverted.
So there's a reason why it sounds like that.
Yes. And let's see. In personal news, they fixed the crew finally got done with the soffits and fascia and gutters of my house. So
Oh boy,
yay!
not being interrupted by that.
Yeah, that was fun. Hope you like, you know, person who's usually up later at night, waking up to your house being banged on by workers at 8 a.m. Not fun.
I can
And then
imagine.
I also finally got back into Monster Hunter more and have beaten the main story. So now it's time to go take on Tempered Elder Dragons and Behemoth, which that's gonna be fun. And I think that's it for me for right now. So I guess next person.
All right, Galix.
Not a whole lot going on here. I was lucky to have enough time off both from the stream and also end of summer low periods at work that I managed to catch up on some of the games that I was behind on. Although also like because we were doing Dead Cells, we reviewed that just this Sunday to start the season. I've been playing that quite a bit too because it's a fun game to play significant amounts of.
Yes.
So yeah. Other than that, the weather has been really zigzaggy.
That's an interesting way to call weather.
It's been
Indeed.
sometimes it's been really hot and sometimes it's been surprisingly mild. But currently it's on the swing up again. So I don't remember if this was before the break, but I finally installed an air conditioner in my room. I've made it so hopefully there will be less bugs getting in that way this time.
I have a screen on my window, so meh.
Well, I have screens on my window too, but the way the air conditioner goes, you can't have the screen in at the same time. But anyway, that's been working. And since no one's complained, I have it running now, so I assume that it's not making too much noise.
All right then.
That's about all.
All right, Twilight.
Well, over the course of the break, we've had some personal family events that's taken place that not exactly joyous, so let's leave it at that. However, on the lighter side of things, I've been playing through the first Borderlands since we was talking about doing that during the break, but that didn't pan out.
Yeah, I kind of passed out when we rescheduled that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're back to working on regular reviews. So
Yeah.
Maybe next break.
yeah.
Yeah, oddly enough, I've already played and beaten the second one. There's not much.
I've never played any of those games.
They're fun. You should give them a shot.
Indeed.
Maybe I will.
Anyway, instant out. I picked up Dragon Dragon Quest 11 yesterday, and it works fairly well on PC so far. I've only had one incident where a loading screen wouldn't finish loading, so I had to close out of it and give it another shot, and it worked the second time.
Ogre is enraptured with Dragon Quest 11.
I know.
Since we haven't heard him talk about it. He was doing the hype job in the chat, and then
he showed up for raid yesterday at least, so there's that.
He hasn't been swallowed up.
He's been not shockingly quiet since he's probably spending about every waking moment he can with the Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah. Besides that, work's been fine, and it's been hot here, and hope and pray rain comes soon, and that's about it.
All right. I guess it's my go.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see. I suppose the big news for me is I'm getting a new couch. Well, new-ish. It's a new used couch because it was on sale, half price. $100.
Guaranteed at least 80% not cat peed on.
Yeah, I'm like a bit more than that.
May or may not have a dead body in it. You know, same old, same old.
Now we did a pretty thorough check of the couch itself to make sure we weren't getting a bad couch. Like, it's just waiting on it to get delivered. It's may take a few days. Like, hopefully it gets resolved by the weekend. More on that next week. Outside of that, not a whole lot actually. I mean, yeah, we had some Borderlands plans, but I just needed a break from doing streaming stuff. That's kind of the point of why we take breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but the batteries are recharged. Here we are, new season, ready to get back to the regular order of business. Indeed, on that note, we have already done some reviews that you can find in our archives, and even a multiplayer session. But this is the first proper episode of the season. And on that note, merrily we shall roll along to the interview portion of the broadcast. And this week we have Scott Humes of Rabbit Hole Studios.
Hello.
Hello. So how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
That's excellent. Excellent. Right. So we like to start things by getting to know the person behind the game studio, and so on and so forth. And we start things off by asking that person, what got you interested in video games, both on a personal and a professional level?
So I got into video games a little bit late in life, actually. I was a welder fitter for 8 years before I got into this business, and I absolutely hated it. So I had an opportunity to go back to school, and I thought to myself, it would be an awesome job, right? If I could do anything. I thought making games would be cool. So I went to school for it, and I kind of just stuck with it since. And it's I do love it. I wouldn't go back.
All right. Well, I mean, how long ago was this retraining?
Oh, I'd say maybe 5 or 6 years now.
Okay, so a fair amount of time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And what did you specialize in school for?
So I went to I went to design school specifically. So it covered all facets of game development, from programming, design, musical composition, concept art, 3D modeling, animation. Like, it covered everything, and it was a condensed course in 3 years. Or I think it was a year and a half, actually. I don't know. It was like super condensed. So when I got out of school, I was very much a jack of all trades, master of none, which made finding employment difficult, because a lot of people will be hiring for someone who's very skilled 3D modeler, or very skilled C# developer. So I decided that I'd just start making games on my own and make my own business out of it.
Yeah. I mean, based on other people we've gotten on the program, they do tend to be specialized, though on the indie circuits, you do have to wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, over the years, I've become more or less just the developer as I've grown the team. I mean, there's a team of 8 of us now, so I wear a lot less hats than I used to, but I still have a lot of kind of odds and ends, businessy things I got to do that other people don't really want to. So
yeah, that's a pretty standard tale when you're an 8-person team.
Yeah.
And anyway, so was Rabbit Hole the first professional video game thing that you did, or was there work beforehand?
So Rabbit Hole came out of an internship. So where I'm from, they had this program called IT Garage, and it was like a 3-month paid internship where you can basically do whatever you want, create your own IP, and you're paid to do it. So at the end of that program, I decided I was going to take the product that I made there and commercialize it, basically. And that's kind of how. And then ever since then, I've just been doing this professionally. And there's been a lot of odd jobs in between, as I'm sure you guys are aware of how it is.
Yep.
But yeah, basically, this is it, as well as doing whatever I can on the side to keep things going.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like the contracting work and various odds and ends. Though, what did you develop at this internship?
Oh, I developed a little game called Spirit of Adventure, and it was for mobile, and so that didn't go well. But yeah, it was just a little game I made, and then I made another game after that called Bubba and Bella, and it's not even on the App Store anymore. And then when I was done that, I started work on Lost Gardens here.
And I noticed this one is not a mobile game, at least not yet, from what I.
No, it's not. It's not going to be. Yeah, no, it's PC, and we picked up an award for it at a convention we went to last year in October in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, we've actually signed a publishing deal for it. So it's going through some overhauls from what you see now, but it's going to be a lot better.
Right. And I believe you signed with Throwback Entertainment.
Yeah, we did.
Whom we've actually had on the show a few times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Everything's a giant circle.
It is. That's pretty wild, eh? I'll have to let them know. I have a meeting with them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have you guys had enjoyable conversations with Throwback? Who did you speak with?
Couple different people. So gonna have to look that up.
Live research.
Yeah. Because it wasn't just one person. Yeah. And I think we had him last year, a year and a half maybe. Yeah, it was first time it was Robert Maduri, and then it was Jeffrey.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and then it was Jeffrey Zurkowski.
Yeah, those are the big fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome, guys.
Yeah.
They're a good crew over there. I've enjoyed my time with them so far.
Well, that's good to hear. Anyway, so The Lost Gardens. For the uninitiated, what is this game?
So The Lost Gardens is a story-driven action-adventure game. It takes inspiration from games like Okami, Zelda, and Mega Man, and it puts them together in a little Zelda-like package. Art style was heavily inspired by Don't Starve, as I'm sure you can guess, with the sprites being tilted towards 2D sprites used in a 3D environment type deal. So in the game, you take on the role of this robot guy known as Caretaker, and the world that he's living in right now has been consumed by an entity known as fear. The player starts off the game not knowing very much what has happened or what's going on in the world, and it's up to them to kind of explore and figure out what happened and why the world is like this, because originally the world started off very much like in that first area where it's all colorful and full of life. Mm-hmm. So there's various there's dungeons that you'll need to go through. This is only the first chapter that's out now, but there's different environments are reflective upon different fears. So fear is like the overarching bad guy of the game, but the first one that you sub fear that you deal with is fear of the unknown, because we thought that was an appropriate introduction type fear for a game when you're just learning and figuring things out, and it's a very real fear for a lot of us, right? Mm-hmm. So we try to design everything around that kind of fear. So later in the game, there's going to be fear of heights, which would take place lots of platforming, mountains. Shaders were a big thing in the game, so I wanted to look at some camera tricks and different shaders to try to capture vertigo. Fear of viruses was another one that's was a pretty interesting concept, which would be like almost like a computer virus world that you would be in. But eventually, once you defeat a fear, you basically reclaim that section of the map. You bring back life back to it, and then you need to go and find the next one, and so on and so on. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And what led to the decision to release this as a early access game?
Proof of concept, really. The game was very ambitious as to what we wanted in it, and the development was starting to drag on a little longer than I would have liked. So we decided the best course of action would be to finish up a chapter as good as we can get it, basically, and then put it on the market. And like, are we going to invest more time in something that nobody wants to play, kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we put it on the market. We got some feedback and everything. People were enjoying it. So, and well, Throwback seems to think that there's potential in it. So it's I think we did good for ourselves.
Well, did Throwback say how they came across the game?
They did. So I live. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
So it's a
little island province in eastern Canada.
Yeah. There's a business development officer here by the name of Cody Clinton, and he's been working with Throwback for a while, trying to like bring business to the island, that kind of stuff. And through that relationship is how they came across myself, Queen Bee, and the other studios on the island, and that's how they found me.
Neat.
Yeah.
Right. So I suppose the question that beckons is, what's getting overhauled?
So I mean, the game itself, like, it's not perfect or by any means of the utmost quality. Like, even watching the video right now, I'm seeing things that need to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some bugs. There are like things like controller support that they would like to see in it, which of course would be a huge benefit to the game. There's some level design issues, like you're dying, right? That's not the best level design right there. But things like that. There's some art that's getting overhauled a little bit, animations, some the stories being relooked at to be a little bit more clear and concise. I agree with everything that we're looking at doing to it, simply because like a lot of this game was on my shoulders. So with that being said, there's a lot of corners that get cut or things that aren't as good as they can be because you're working towards trying to get a product out as quickly as possible, right?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that sounds very extensive, actually. Is the game as it is going to remain on the marketplace while that's and is going to stay in early access, or you?
Yeah, it's going to stay in early access, and updates are going to be coming out for it while it's on the market. It's not coming off the market though.
Okay, because sometimes that happens.
Yeah, of course, but I think it, as it stands in the price point that it's at, it's okay to be on the market, and people that have already purchased it will get those updates as they come along. So that's good.
Yes. Speaking of the price point, it is going for like $3 right now.
Yeah, thereabouts. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Like I just remember it was very, very cheap.
Yeah, I price things at about an hour per gameplay, or $1 per hour of gameplay, basically. So there's about 3 hours worth of gameplay, $3. I think that's I streamed a lot of the development, and a lot of people seem to agree with me that it's a fair price point and it's early access. So I've often gotten it's cheap, but I don't know. I believe it's priced fairly for what it is.
Right, and my actual question is, like, how much do you envision the price point jumping as the game gets completed, or is it like going to stay $3 and then it get more expensive when it gets formally released?
That's going to be more on Throwback's end. I don't really have a lot of say in what goes on there, but from what I'm aware, I imagine what would happen is if as updates come out, the price would start to creep up as that content's released. That would be what I would suspect would happen.
That's about what I was thinking. The Minecraft model.
Yeah, basically. I don't know, like, don't quote me on it because I don't know what they got going on their end for something like that, but
Mhm.
I'm more or less just working with them on, oh, okay, like, oh, the caretaker sprite's been updated. It's not in the game yet, but I know that that's been a thing that's happened, right? So he's got a new design to him now. But that's more or less where I stand. So whatever they do with it, I don't know, but I don't think that all of a sudden it's going to be like a $40 game or anything like that.
No, I don't see that happening either. Like, I'd imagine, well, it's like about $15-$20. That seems to be the standard indie game price point.
Yeah, that seems about fair. When the game's complete, I mean, I visioned about 7 chapters for the game, and at 3 hours per chapter, that puts you around, what, math? More than 15, but
yeah, like it's some number.
it is certainly a number.
A number you can't divide by 0.
That is true. You're absolutely correct.
Anyway, so outside of the content that needs to be overhauled, how much of the game is actually complete right now?
I'd say a 7th, since there's 7 chapters. I mean, but all that is, subject to change depending on what we decide we want to do and what direction we want to take the game, right?
Right.
But as of now, I have planned 7 chapters, 7 beers. Yeah. That would be, we're about a 7th of the way there. So there's a lot to come for it.
Yeah, it sounds like the content complete or the 1.0 release is quite a ways away.
That all depends on like how quickly things get done, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to take a whole lot longer than a year. Now that Throwback's on board with us, that's a lot more muscle than what we currently had, Right. And a lot more experience too. Like there's a lot more experienced eyes on the project now than just this guy, So that like there's sometimes I'll be developing something that takes me a week, 2 weeks that an experienced developer can do in like 20 minutes. It just depends on the task and what we're working on, all that kind of stuff.
Right. And I suppose another question is, with the additional resources at your disposal, will we see Mac and Linux builds?
That's something I'm curious about. I did make Mac and Linux builds for this game, but I don't have any. I don't have any resources to test on those platforms. So I think people were having some issues with the game, and then we took them down because it's like I can't. Like, there's no way I can actually physically test a copy, right? So if somebody has an issue with a Mac build, what am I to do to try to solve that? So I think there were some issues and we took it down. That could absolutely change depending on, again, what Throwback wants to do with it. I do know we are looking at doing possible console releases for it. Like there's a lot of plans that we have. It's just a matter of one step at a time, working our way there, right?
Right. And what sort of middleware solutions are you using? Like, is the game being built in Unity?
Oh yeah, I'm a Unity C# developer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I knew that already because it says made with
Unity. Yeah.
It's just, I don't think our audience saw that.
Yeah. There's always in the indie communities, there's always the ongoing debate about engines and everything like that. At the end of the day, it's just a tool, right?
Right.
And I mean, Unreal out of the box has more power for the graphics, but Unity potentially can have the same visuals as Unreal if you have the right guy doing the right stuff, right? But it's a little bit more legwork to do. For our game, obviously, that's not really a big concern. And I tend to try to stick with Unity, just because the longer I develop for Unity, the better of a developer for that engine I become, and there's less ramp up for the next project, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, and I suppose getting back to the whole platform question, what made you want to make a PC game instead of a like third mobile game?
Well, because the mobile market is just like friggin' brutal. I made 2 mobile games, and the basic price point, or the way it works, is it's free to play, and then you try to monetize a person inside of the game once they're there. So with that model, I tried building like in-app purchases and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up spending larger than I would have liked percentage of my time building in-app purchases rather than building a better game or more content for that game. And then on top of that, you need to drive very large numbers of downloads to convert people into sales. And it's just like, for a small guy like me, that's just way too much to handle. PC, I can make a game, put it on the market, put a price on it, and start generating revenue. So that's why I made the switch.
Makes sense. Right then, I'm going to see if my colleagues here have any questions of their own, and if not, I think we'll be done here.
Later on through the game, will you be getting different like powers, or will you just still stick with like the sword action you have?
No, there's guns and grenades that you'll get, as well as a flamethrower.
Oh man, flamethrowers.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty fun first unique item to get.
And I think everything else I was gonna ask has been asked already.
So, we are also developing another project right now.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm excited about it. We're going to be doing some interest. So it's an arena based beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
So the name of the game is Deo Mateo. You take on the role of a man a man by the name of Mateo, and he is the former Pinata champion of the world. In 1973, he was, anyways.
Oh, this is real, or?
We would like it to be.
No, I was just curious because
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how one competitively pinatas.
Well,
You have to play and find out.
Yeah. So this guy was like, his name is Mateo. He's like the Mexican Fabio, like super wealthy, super popular. But in 1973, the circuit crashes because nobody cares about pinating anymore, we haven't decided how it's going to crash yet, but it crashes and he loses his job, and all this guy can do is pinata. So he's out of work. He has lots of ex-wives. Everything falls apart for him until, in the game, today happens. And for whatever reason, there's a bunch of cursed pinatas that start attacking his hometown of Las Dulces. And so it's up to Mateo. Well, he sees it as an opportunity of reclaiming his former glory. So he sets out to save the town. But you take on the character as a very overweight, tired, and old Mateo. So the game's set in an arena with different stages and increasing difficulty with each passing stage. It's going to be multiplayer, couch co-op multiplayer with 4 people, and networked multiplayer with 4 people. But the big kind of fun thing about it that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a Twitch integration with it. So chatters will be able to affect how the gameplay actually comes about.
That's a thing I've been seeing more and more in games recently.
I think it's a great way. I think you have to do it now. Streamers are looking to engage their fans when they're streaming, and what better way to do that than directly affecting gameplay, right?
I'm like, it probably depends on the game.
I suppose, yeah. It would be very difficult to do with a Final Fantasy. But we were thinking about ideas like that for the next project.
And use /behemoth to summon behemoth randomly on one of your players.
Yeah. Well, in Deo Mateo, we're going to be doing it so players can spawn any one of the different enemies that we have in the game, or they can spawn crates that have helpful items for the player. That's going to be the kind of-
Everyone knows what they're going to be using.
Yeah. There might be one guy that wants to spawn crates, but I think the chatters are going to be trying to kill everybody.
So I heard you like horde mode.
Yeah.
Right then. Right. So if we have no more questions, I think that'll about do it. Scott, I'd like to thank you for appearing on our program. Lost Gardens looks pretty interesting so far, even in its rather early state. And I look forward to seeing how the game progresses.
Thank you for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate the invite.
No problem. I mean, we might have you back on the program when the project is in a much later state of release. I don't know. Like us doing repeat interviews to the same project are rare because, we've kind of already covered this thing.
Yeah, no worries. I understand. I'm happy to come on anytime that you guys want. Like I said, we do have another game in development, so maybe when that one comes out, or
I'm like, probably that one when you're, when you're further down the line. Anyway, the game is The Lost Garden. It's currently in early access. You can pick it up on Steam for $3, and be sure to follow the developments of the game on the various social media pages of Rabbit Hole. And
we stream. I stream development almost daily of everything I work on.
Mm-hmm. And where can you find that?
Studio Burrow.
Okay. All right, Petty Fan, play us to the next segment.
Oh joy, media player broke.
Technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll see if you can't get that fixed, to at least have the ending music.
Yep.
All right. So with that awkward mess, topic of discussion. Right. So we're starting things off by talking about the Mario Party franchise. Reason being,
man, Mario parties.
well, it's like, there is another, an installment of Mario Party coming along isn't that big of a deal, quite honestly.
They do happen fairly often.
Well, I mean, they were literally a yearly series from inception till Mario Party 8. Like, then it took a pretty substantial break, and it took a developer switch to bring the series back to form. But we're talking about this because Super Mario Party is on the way. It's the first Mario Party game in a long while that actually looks like it has some actual potential. I mean, not for nothing, but Mario Party 9, Mario Party 10 sucked.
I mean, there's a reason they're not doing Mario Party 11. They're doing Super Mario Party.
Like, Super Mario Party looks to be not only a return to the competitiveness that marked the Hudson Mario Party titles, but they are adding new things. Like, from the gameplay footage I've seen, each character has unique dice that they can use. And Super Mario Party is also poised to make some unique fixtures of the Switch itself. Like,
yeah, there's at least a mode where if you have more than one Switches playing together, you can, like, for some mini games, you can make a screen that is combined of the two Switch screens.
Yeah. And It's also going to have some limited online multiplayer, like, and that's actually been a source of contention with people because we have reached a point where people feel that you should be able to play a Mario Party game online, and I mean, I definitely get where that's coming from. On the board game side of things,
Yeah, but a lot of those mini games are very twitchy and would you get enough people bitching about the controller being broken or my stick wasn't working right or whatever without any like online lag issues.
Mm-hmm.
like it's one of those, not sure if they'd be able to eliminate the lag issues that would be inherent.
Yeah, this would be
Yeah.
very much a case of host always wins.
Yeah, because that
Pretty
is the other
much.
that is the other side of Mario Party. It's not just the board game; it is the mini games.
Mhm.
Yeah, the mini games were not handled as badly. I mean, to my knowledge, were not handled as badly as the board games were for 9 and 10. But
I'm like, yeah. Granted, they'll never be as bad as the first Mario Party. I think
you mean Mario Party? Nintendo is now offering free gloves so that you don't damage your thumbs or the palms of your hands while playing Mario Party.
they actually got sued over that, and the plaintiffs won. That is why you're never going to see Mario Party ever revive. In fact, the go-to classic Mario Party has been Mario Party 2.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both on the Wii Virtual Console and the Wii U Virtual Console. That's the Mario Party that showed up. No idea why Mario Party 3 didn't show up, because, that one also does not have the, no Mario Party outside of the first one has the, palm-destroying mini games.
Yeah, they've just taken out rotate the controller as a or the control stick as a mechanism for.
Mind you, a lot of, it wasn't just the mini games; it's the N64 analog controller itself. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
no.
There's a reason why people say it's terrible.
These people are not wrong.
Point being, yeah, you're never going to see the original Mario Party unearthed. You're just going to have to get the original N64 cart if you want to play that one. Although, once again, there's a lot of Mario Party out there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mhm.
It's not just the console, but the handhelds previous to the Switch have seen their share of Mario Party games. Like, just, I don't think I ever heard anyone talk about those. Like,
Yeah, they're rarely ever
Mhm.
mentioned.
Yeah,
No.
Mario Party Advance, I guess it kind of highlights the fact that you can link up more than two systems together with
Yeah,
the
like,
Game Boy Advance link cable.
I think I vaguely remember playing some Mario Party Advance, like borrowing a friend's Game Boy Advance and playing it like in middle school.
Mhm.
But that's about it.
Yeah, and Mario Party as a concept just kind of worked better on the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because
Mind you-
you figure back in the day when the Advance was new, that was like $100. Everybody had to have one and a copy of the game. And if you weren't lucky enough to get the GBA link cable bundle, you had to shell out another $15 for a link cable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DS at least. Well, you don't need any outside hardware to combine it, but the DS also had a mechanism where you could basically everybody else could download a mini version of the game from the main player.
They'd essentially have that board, and it would throw them a set of mini games whenever it would be initiated.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the latest installment of Mario Party previous to this is the Top 100,
which
is
does have a full Mario, which it does have a full party mode,
right. It's
but
just
it's primarily a collection of the mini games, and it doesn't have as many different boards or.
Yeah, I was about to say I heard. So I heard you kids like mini games.
Mhm. Which yeah,
well, it's literally the top 100 mini games. Like, yeah. Admittedly, my experience with Mario Party was limited. Like, I don't think I played a Mario Party title since the N64 era. You know, and also that GameCube era kind of blurs together.
Yeah, like I think I
Yeah, it
played a little
did.
bit of the GameCube one because I vaguely remember playing it at a friend's house, and they might have accidentally put a controller through their TV.
Wow.
The thing I remember about the GameCube era is it got pretty gimmicky there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It
like,
did.
so for those who don't remember, like I think starting in Mario Party 6, you could use the GameCube microphone. Um, for honestly, I've kind of forgotten. Like I remember you could use the microphone in some of the later Mario Party games. Honestly, kind of surprising they didn't use the bongo drums.
Yeah, that's a huge wasted opportunity there.
Yeah.
Now,
Or the DDR pad.
yeah, I'm like the GameCube had some weird accessories.
Mm-hmm. To be
Yeah.
fair, what console in the mid 2000s didn't have weird accessories?
Like, well, certain. If you want to talk about weird accessories, I think the Wii took the cake.
Well, yeah, fair, yeah.
Now, Mario Party 8 was the last Mario Party title developed by Hudson. And I don't think we were ever given a reason why Hudson was taken off the series.
Well, we know why they're not doing it now. They kind of don't exist.
No, but keep in mind Mario Party 9 was in development when Hudson was still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, considering the yearly iterative incarnations of Mario Party up to that point, Mario Party going into hibernation was unusual.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, yeah, Mario Party 9 came out in 2012. You know, that is a gap of 4 years.
Right.
Not like, and I'm trying to think like Mario Party 8. I'm trying to think if maybe DS, like one of the handheld ones, might have been like the true final Mario Party, but I don't think so.
Mm.
Like, DS was around the same time, and Mario Party Island Tour was actually after 9. Wikipedia, you're handy.
We'll keep you around for now.
Yes. The point is, the series shifted over to a developer called NDQ, who previous to this had a history of developing not especially impressive Nintendo GameCube and Game Boy Advance titles. Probably their highest claim to fame was doing one of the F-Zero games on the Game Boy Advance, Maximum Velocity. They also made F-Zero ripoff game Tube Slider. And yes, that is a real name for a game, by the way.
sounds a little bit.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah,
sounds
this stuff right there.
it's like innuendo. Like, but also notable that they are the developer of sister series Wii Party, like, which was basically, Mario Party minus the Mario and plus Mii's and motion controls and shit.
Because motion controls.
Well, Yeah, because it's part of the Wii line.
Mhm.
Like, from what I understand, like Wii Party U was actually an interesting case in that because it utilized, if I'm recalling this correctly, both like motion controls and the tablet. Like you use the two in tandem.
Mhm.
There were a few games like that. Like, and yeah, the the Wii Party games are all right for what they are, but I always found that they kind of lacked the personality of the Mario games. Then again, that was kind of the thing that defined the Wii line. It was very, very bland, neutral personality kind of things.
Yeah, these are more for the younger
Mhm.
crowd.
No.
Yeah.
Complete opposite.
Mm.
They were for the older crowd. They were
Ah.
so wouldn't scare off grandpa and mom and all that. It's like, you know, as I understand it, Nintendo rationalized that, using the Mario characters, skewed more kid, like a pure kid, whereas, something like Wii Sports and Wii Play and all that could skew, for the whole family. Anyway, so ND Cube has been developing the game since then, though Mario Party's reputation hasn't exactly been sterling. Well, honestly, even before the ND Cube era, but that was more the yearly release schedule because, did we really need 10 mainline Mario Party games?
Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, it's like, um, it's just,
Yeah.
I'm guessing people bought this um, to justify that. It's just, it will never cease to vex me that for a measure of time, Mario Party was the fucking Madden of Nintendo. Like, or
Well, at least the Mario parties have different stuff happen.
right, and they do have different rosters.
I mean,
like,
there are only so many ways you can do a football season.
right, and like if you were a fan of Donkey Kong, I knew some people who were pissed at some of the like Mario Party 5 on.
Yeah, I had a friend who was pretty disappointed as he was removed from the roster as well.
Well, first he was like,
Yeah, he wasn't like complete. It wasn't like he was removed from the game, but he was made into an event like Bowser.
And like I said, he was removed from the roster.
Yeah, which speaking of which is one of the apparently in Super Mario Party Bowser will be playable, so we'll see how they do that.
Yeah, it's Toad who's taking over host duties this time.
Well, Toad was always kind of one of the host characters, but Bowser was like the bad guy, the guy who made bad stuff for you happen on the board.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole slew of new characters supposed to be rolling out. I like Rosalina. Although chief among them, Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr., Goomba, Pom Pom, Boomerang
Pom-Pom,
Bro,
because yes, that's a character that people like and or know exists.
and Monty Mole.
For those who weren't keeping track, I'm pretty sure that Pom Pom is Boom Boom's like female version who uses shurikens instead of just fists.
I think this is going to be Pom Pom's first spin-off appearance in general. Not the most unusual. That's still fucking Chain Chomp.
Well, Chain Chomp in Party would be one thing, but Chain Chomp in Tennis is... I mean, even in Universe, Chain Chomp is a dog.
I know.
Dogs, usually, outside of, very strange sports movies, don't play tennis.
There ain't no rule. It's because nobody thought that this would happen. It's so absurd. No one thought to make a rule of it. Jeez. Anyway, shit, I hate when I lose my place. Mario Party, Super Mario Party is looking to be returned to form, and Mario Party games sell surprisingly well. I think Mario Party 10 cleared at least 1 mil, and that was on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Right then. Any final words on Mario Party?
Be careful who you play it with. It's very much like Monopoly. You might kill somebody.
Like, yeah, it's like there may have been some controllers thrown at people.
Or around
Yeah.
somebody's neck.
I had a fun experience with the series with all that I've played of it. I haven't had anybody try to harm me or me try to harm anybody else.
Yeah, I haven't played as much as I like, but several of the people that I follow online play it regularly, or so. I have played it a few times, but yeah, it's always interesting to see all of the interesting ways in which the game can screw you over.
Indeed. And yeah, I think that'll about do it. Not just for the topic, but for this episode. So, if you liked what you hear, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell thing, because that's a thing in the modern subscribing. You know, it's like,
Man,
you gotta
it's
hit,
almost like we're a real YouTube channel now.
well,
on
it's like
Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah, I
Twitch
keep.
has the fucking bell as well.
A real
Yeah.
YouTube Twitch channel where we have to actually remind people about bells and subscribing.
Yeah.
Well, I figured, you know,
I know, I'm
apparently that shit does help.
Yes, it has.
So, yeah. I won't say to like and comment because honestly, we use the YouTube channel for our archive purposes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to come hang out in the chat,
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a thing we should start doing starting this season.
Yeah.
like I know, I don't remember if I mentioned this at the top, but the Final Fantasy 14 streams will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Like, and coming up on Sunday, which is our review day. Friday is our multiplayer day if we have a multiplayer game to play for review. Like, and Tuesday is our Euro interview day. So, you know,
Well,
we're
Tuesday
producing
morning.
we're producing a lot of content because that's what you have to do in the streaming field. In fact, I was told by somebody that we didn't seem to do a lot, and you should do more. Like,
I'm working on that.
I'm just saying that this is something that let's say partner of the show said to me not too long ago.
You can say Mac. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not Mac.
I know. I was kidding.
I can't. I'm not going to say who it was, but it's one of the people we get the reviews from. Like, they were just asking about the numbers, and I'm like, oh, it's this, and it's also, our subscriber base isn't what it used to be because we used to have the Talk Shoe stuff and iTunes. We don't update that anymore
because it's kind of broken.
Yeah, the perils of changing primary distribution method.
Yeah, it's like that shit broke. It's unbroken now. It's just I don't think we have a way to convert the show into audio format.
Yeah, I've been having problems with VLC. It's probably going to be something I'll look into if I can get a new computer. Because right now, just the backlog would be so big, it would take hours with my current setup.
Right. It's just, beforehand, the Talk Shoe stuff broke. Like that's why we lost, most of our episodes on MSP. And we also lost, the first few seasons up to season 3 of this show. Like, I'm not sure how, and some of that's probably gone forever.
Yeah.
So, I'm not in a big hurry to return to Talk Shoe because I'm still legitimately pissed off at that.
Yeah, that was handled so poorly, but that's a story for another time.
Well, it's like we've already ranted about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, just these are some of the things we are doing going forward in season 10. Like, anyway, so coming up on the Sunday reviews, we've got 3 of them. We've got DCR Drive Crash Repeat, which I believe Petty Fan and I got. We got Tetris Escape, which I think everybody got.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, man.
and yeah, and Ninja Clash of Carrots. Sadly, I only got 1 code for this, and that's really unfortunate because there's a multiplayer mode. It's online multiplayer, but I can't test it out. Or rather, I'm not testing it out with randos. It's just not a thing I feel like doing. It's like just this. I'll note to the rest of the staff that you should consider picking up Ninjin because it's actually really surprisingly good.
How much is it going for? You mean for a game that has like Ninja Carrots?
I'm like, it's going for $15.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I wasn't because it's this weird quasi endless runner thing. Like, it's an endless runner, but it's not because it has actual levels and stages. I'm like, it's got an endless mode you can unlock, but it's not by definition, it's not an endless runner.
It's an endless runner now with 100% more end.
Yeah. So, but it's really well put together. More on that on Sunday. And coming up next week. So we were looking to maybe have our first Euro interview show, but that fell through. I just heard back from the developers that they are a bit too busy right now, maybe closer to launch of their game. So it goes. So on Wednesday, September 12th, we'll be welcoming John Pickett, a manga gamer, back on the program. As always, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Steam, obviously, that continues to be a never-ending source of conversation. Just today, Steam finally posted a progress update on the tools for the mature content filters. And this is kind of important because a Gama Sutra report came out not too long ago that mentioned that adults content, namely visual novel content, has been held up for months because of these tools. And I'm willing.
Go figure. They're bad at doing stuff.
I'm like, and this might have affected Manga Gamer. On the subject of that, the band game, that
A Kiss for the Petals, Maidens of Michael.
Yeah, that just hit GOG,
Yep.
today. And
which is a stunning vote of confidence in Steam's ability to ever get their shit together about hosting visual novels.
Well, I just saw John on Twitter mention, has Steam, okay, it's on GOG now. Can you unban the game? So there's obviously going to be quite a bit to talk about. In terms of releases, we're going to be focusing on a title called Koro Pokur in Love, which is Manga Gamer's first original title.
Those tiny Ainu people? Spirits?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this in passing before, but it's slated to be released in September of 2018, so that's going to be our focus, along with the various other things they've announced, because they've always got a ton of announcements.
Mm-hmm.
If this seems a bit more long-winded than usual, well, it's the start of a season, and got to update people on what changes are happening. Right then, so I think that also worth noting, Kevin is back from vacation, So he should be joining us in the post show regularly again.
Yeah. Oh man, we'll definitely have stuff to talk about in post show.
Yeah. So, joining us there, I wish you good gaming.